Hello YouTube, welcome back to Sunless Sea. Now, I gotta admit something to you guys. When I recorded this footage, none of my voice came along with it, so yeah, this is all just post commentary that I'm doing right now, which I think is quite good because it allows me to just think about all the things that happened. Also, yes, Sunless Sea got a great update. Still have no idea what it does, but it did give me an update, so yeah, I agreed to be taken back to London. Here we are at the dock. And this we are still playing as Frederick the Sailor, number 2. And I collect my messages. The blind man would like to have a word with me. The one that I accepted resources of. And he's going to tell me to head over to Mount Palmerston with a few articles of cargo. For those of you that remember my last character, those articles of cargo were sold, so we're going to do just that. Because a blind man with a knife, you can completely trust him 100%. I've known a few blind people in my life. I mean, I would trust a blind man. And, yes, it's only a trifling inconvenience to us because we're going to head north. We head to the Admiralty office and we give them the information we got on Gatherer's Morn, giving us 30 echo, which isn't that bad for a normal report. Shepherd's Isle, we then ask them what strategic information they need. No, we give them any strategic information we need. My words, I have not forgotten my terms. The Admiralty. The Admiral pretends to be calm again, but we hand him the information and he pays us in good echo. So that's the main job of our quest today, is to get some sweet, sweet cash. And some echoes, which are always helpful. And also, I found out quite possibly my most favorite thing in this game, and that would be going to the tomb colonies. Because I like it. It's a nice, quiet place. We decide to put 3 tomb colonists into our cargo and just drag them around as we head north. And we also seek a new recruit. We can get the Genile Magician, which increases our veils and mirrors. Or we could have gotten the Tireless Mechanic, which increases our veils and fuel efficiency. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I have complete faith that I picked the wrong person. Because I've realized how much fuel efficiency is actually really important. But here are his references, so we're going to take the veils and mirrors. I'm still tossing up between fuel efficiency and mirrors. They both cost the same amount, and I was just like, well, I'll take it. So I did. Oh, yep. He'll get to work, and we'll move him as our chief engineer. And he gives a -2 hearts, because he's missing an arm. We will call him Hooky. Hooky McMagician. And I take a look at this information right here. I see some delicious soup, and we're trying to find some extra fuel around here. Yep, it took us a while. I had to jump through each shop going, where the bloody hell? Oh, here, right, okay. So I buy just 2 extra fuel for the journey, and I think, for 63 echo, I'm gonna buy my own creative human souls, and maybe I'll find someone to buy it off me. And with that, Frederick the Third, no, the Second, heads off on his merry adventure. Because there's absolutely no way that this can go badly. And we start heading towards Venderbight, and Mount Palmerston's in the pretty much straight east of Venderbight. Do what you want, 'cause I was in a restaurant. You are Rosanna. You are Benedict. As we pass our way through Barnet, which is still one of my most interesting places, we come across a pirate. So sure enough, I decide to fight him. I toss up between using seeks and flares, so I toss up 3 seeks and give him a salvo, and I start combat. I still wonder why they have pirates in the UnterZee. It just doesn't seem viable. Because the UnterZee is terrible, so why would you want to spend more time out there? Unless they're just normal sailors and they've gotten mad and they've eaten each other. Yeah, I'll talk about it later. But right now, what I get up to is I head to Mount Palmerston, which, for those of you who don't know, in my last game, is where I met Mount Nomad, and I got utterly devoured by that moving, living mountain. I decided to speak to my magician. He's a good engineer despite the missing hand, but zealous falls silent when he passes. I can ask bluntly about his hook, or ask how the magician became an engineer. Or I could say to hell to all of that and decide not to. Either way, it's all good. I had to think for a moment what Vales did again. I also realized that I'm probably not using my secrets to level up my character as much as I should be. And that is just another flaw that I'm gonna have to fix. But here we are at Vanderbilt, a nice little short thing. So, we put tomb colonists in coffins, and then we put those coffins inside ships, and then just drag them around the UnterZee and tell them we're taking them to the tomb colonies. That must be extremely boring as hell, because being stuck, laying there in that coffin, just waiting. I wonder if they have anything to pass the time in those coffins. Like a newspaper. Or a crossword. Just have 3 tomb colonists, just coffins just laying next to each other. It's like, excuse me, Jonathan. Yeah, what is it? What is the name for 7 down? I believe they're called Z-bats. Ah, I see. Z, is that 1 Z? No, yes. Actually, 1 Z, 2 E's. Ah, of course. But of course. And they just lay in there drinking sherry and other alcoholic beverages. But here we almost hit a rock, and we keep going east, straight to Mount Palmerston. I stumbled over my words a little bit during the recording. I tried to explain what the hell the devils are. Devils are not chaos incarnate beings. They are actually quite charming. And kind. Well, no, not kind. Quite charming and sneaky. They keep on trying to steal people's souls. And they have beautiful, beautiful orange eyes. And teeth. Sorry, not orange teeth. Their teeth are actually just normally pearly and white, and it's just... their teeth are always pointy. sip from my drink there, sorry guys. And we see eels. I decide to say balls to that and start heading towards north through these corals. I haven't actually gone through these corals, I believe. These reefs. And that being said, these are some crazy coral formations. It's like they're just boulders piled on top of each other and they're super glued. The next thing I'm going to do, quite possibly, is after I've done my business with Mount Palmerston and after I've done some information and stuff like that, I'm going to head south. During the gameplay, for those of you who have been watching, I have never headed south, and here I use this is the first time I've used the ability, is I sent out a bat, and it goes to the nearest continent or place that I can dock, which turns out to be Mount Palmerston. And here it is. It's beautiful, it's pretty, and it's got lava. And my terror is at 15, so. But the terror isn't so strong here, it's just, you know, devils. So we decide to take a stop off at Port Palmerston. Take it slow, not wanting to. And we do a nice little tiny drift there. And here we are. Now, brimstone. There's always brimstone at Mount Palmerston. We go to Mount Palmerston, we can explore the island, check to the port folk, or deliver the smuggled souls. First thing we do... Yeah. There was also a revolution in hell, and the aristocracy of elves fled here. Here they plot in the exile. So we do it. We go get information. They don't do us any harm. They stay up there and we stay down here. If hell's fun in itself, that's good for us all, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. And I deliver my smuggled souls to Mount Palmerston. After a hooded figure with a lantern waits at the fire end of the quay. You give him a sign of recognition, a tip of the hat, and a twistle of the mustache. He knows who you are. And he gives us a chitty marked with a thief sign? I don't know what chitty is. Here I just take a look at the supplies and the fuel. As you can see right now, fuel efficiency would have really helped me because I've gotten 4 fuel. But, you know, it's Mount Palmerston, it's like 1 echo cheaper here, so I decided to stock up while I could. And Zoop. Delicious Zoop. I still haven't bought Zoop yet. Only because I'm fearful to know what's inside it. Probably bats. And, yep, I closed my, oh god, that was a very... I closed my, Fallen London game up there, just to, make sure I didn't get any more Facebook notifications and stuff like that. And I head up to the crater. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but the road to the Brimstone Convention is paved with cinders. Do they admit visitors at the Brimstone Convention? Probably not, but you never know, they might sell tickets. Okay. Look down, you see Port Palmerston like a toy, and the ruins like gravel. You've come far, the volcano's cone still rears ahead of you. You rest a little before going the last half mile. Yeesh. I'm walking a half mile? The road to the crater ends with a brass gate in the crater wall. Beside it stands an oddly charming little cottage. It's thrown together with prunus and basalt, and it features honeysuckle. Honeysuckle? An equally charming devilish in a tea gown leans against the cottage wall, twirling her parasol and fanning herself. I am the guardian of this place, she remarks languidly. You may not pass, but I might offer you a cup of Amarilla tea. Amelia tea. Amelia, isn't that the poisonous ones, is it? You're pretty sure it's not. Sure, why not? I will have tea with this lovely devil, because there's absolutely nothing that can go wrong with this. Guys, there's plenty wrong that can go with it. That can go wrong with this. I mean, seriously. No doubt she'll be much less pleasant if you tried to break down that gate, but just now she's just a courteous, soft-voiced woman in a tea gown. The tea is hot and nutty and rather pleasant. She asks about your voyages. She is desperate for news of London, of its mists, of its nights, of its sick, its poor, its fires. She tactfully turns aside in questions about the convention, but she shares some of the secrets underneath. Yes? Come see me again, she says, next time when you're here. She shrugs gracefully. Bring me a present if you like. Excellent. I love her. It's already gone from quality 1 to 20, so I might have just jumped a huge plot of storyline right there. But sure enough, I decide the best course of action right now is to explore a bit south and then head to Fallen London again. Because, well, my fuel's not too bad. I got 10 fuel, but I have 8 food and stuff like that. And we meet a pirate. Hello. Bye-bye. We of course outrun him, being the huge, massive sailor badasses that we are. I'm kidding. We almost run straight into those rocks. And yeah, it's beautiful the way that the camera angle just shows all of this awesome stuff under the water, like the crystal-like formations of the coral and stuff like that. Keep moving. So, wait, I get this event right here. Truth in the dreams. Beneath the cavern that holds the UnterZee is prowled by dreams. There is a story that it was once the skull of a dead god. Perhaps that would explain it. I can either listen to my dreams or sleep deeply. I listen to the dreams. Mirror-faceted pillars rise above you like trees in a forest, more so because each glows with a shifting green light. The Z laps at the base of the pillars. A voice from above cries out in 7 languages. You understand each one. This is the face of Irem. It will be taken from us. I've gained the memories of the distant shores, and I have gained Terra. Yay! Terra! Terra's the best. Because eventually, if I get enough Terra, I'll start eating everyone. And I also noticed that there's a port straight south. Port Cecil. So we take a spot down here at Port Cecil. How's it going? And we have this Port Cecil, and we decide to take a look at it, maybe get a report before we head back to the Admiralty. I gather intelligence, a port report, Port Cecil, and I decide to gather Shintilalak. Haha, I know exactly what that is. It's basically lumps of coral. Where the Z washes across the coral's edge, it glows a rich purple. Each time it washes across your boots, you expect it to leave stains. The edge along the slippery coral picks up lumps of brighter glowing stuff here and there. Although the Z doesn't stain, eventually it begins to whisper to you. Phrases so clear that you catch yourself looking over your shoulder in case your crew have spoke. They have not. They look around, just as you are. Between the stars, the Z says, descend the chain. When it runs out across the coral, it sounds almost like a soft chuckle. I rest here, it tells you. I forget. My terror has increased by 11. My new total is 70. This is never a good sign. But that's all for now. I've succeeded in a mirror's challenge, and I've gained Shintilelak, which I will sell as soon as I get to London, because gotta get to cash. I decided to stare at my hunger bar and my terror bar for a little while, trying to make sure that it doesn't get too bad, but while I was looking at that, I forgot to notice that there's a giant shark. The bound shark attacks, the most tormented of the Z beasts. Its murderous eyes peep from the cage beneath, like convicts begging release. I decide to fight it. It's just a really big fish in a cage. I mean, honestly, it's not that bad. And then I realized that it had 75 life. I decided to start off with Seek, but then I realized that that's a really bad idea because Seek lowers the distance between your two characters, and the last thing I want is for the shark to get closer to me. So we fire off some flares and then fire some horrible, awesome, devastating salvos. Which goes off rather well. It does have the same amount of health that I do, but I have cannons. Sharks don't have cannons. If they did have cannons, I'd be horrified, but from what I know, they don't have cannons. And he uses Submerge, which drastically decreases his hiding, so we need to light him up with a few flares again, and then I just give him a normal salvo. We just go boop, he's destroyed. We go thanks. We decide to examine the cage armature. Instead of using its meat, which I realize is probably a better idea, I decided to examine it because it's savagely with crude black iron and bands and stuff like that. You learn little, except that someone is merciless and inventive. The pain this creature must have suffered. You take a tooth as a trophy. If your hull is damaged, your engineer will repurpose some of the cage's repair materials. Good on you, sailors, you know how to work. We gained hunting trophy. We gained 1 terror because we fixed a bit of our ship with a shark. Probably not the best thing to do. But sure enough, we make our way back to London, while trying to avoid any other sharks. We try to do it, we try to follow the boys here, but as you can see, we have 2 sharks gaining on us because we've opened up pretty much, I don't know what you would call it, a hive, a nest, a gathering of sharks. Anyway. A cry goes up, "Drownies in the water!" The pale faces of the drowned dead bob up like lamps. They're singing. Drownies are drawn to feel like pickup pockets to crowds. Stoke the engines as hot as they'll go, and you'll use the fuel may damage your ship, but it will drown out their wretched song. I decide to do that because it's only 1 fuel, and honestly, it's not that bad. Because the last thing I want is some drownies tearing me apart. Your engines under the drowning circle, the poisonous sweetness of their song is almost lost as in the din, as last they tire and sink below, waving as they go. I have lost 1 terror. But that being said, drownies are simply just drowned. I assume that they're just drowned people, but they're like the tomb colonists, they're not really dead. Though being a drowning, I would understand, might be fairly depressing. Because you see this like ship full of sailors and they're just like, oh, people, there's people on like boats, I gotta talk to the peoples, hi peoples, and then they start singing and being all happy. It's just like, hey peoples, come join us, we're totally not gonna drown you and murder you. And then eventually you just fire off your engines and escape, and they're just like, God damn it. And then they look over to Little Joe and he's like, why the hell did you have to mention that you were going to kill them? He just goes, I didn't, I said we weren't. And then they just wave sadly. And we also have more pirates in these waters. So I'm trying to move from each like light buoy, from one light buoy to the next to lower the amount of terror I get, but sure enough that pirate sees me, and then he eventually, after a short while, decides to back the hell off as we decide to fight these bats. We use Seek and 2 salvos, the basic thing when I'm going to fight any bats, and that pretty much instantly kills most of them. Here we are. Zeke increases the illumination. We only have 6 crew, which I've also noticed. So I decide the next time in London, I'm just gonna walk around. It's like, hey, we're gonna head south. So anyone want to cover the south? And we do that. Does anyone want to stick around on my ship and eat bats? Because we seem to be running into a lot of them. And sure enough, I try to get the hell away from that pirate, and he decides to, well, you know, you're too close to that ship with a lighthouse attached to it. We decide to stay the hell away from you. Which they do, and I realize that I've headed too far north, so I decide to head straight south, back to Low Barrett. I'm just thinking of my sailors singing a good little Z song as we try to escape from those freaking bats. But here we are back at the Wolfstack docks and the delicious town of Fallen London. Can't you just smell that smoke and sickness? But my terror is 90, I'm very close to like being crazy, so I decided to stop at London and I breathe a sigh of relief as soon as the gangplank touches the quayside. The terrace of deep sea lighting. Walk taller, smile more readily. What dreams may cling. Terror is reduced to 50 when you return to London. If it's high, however, if your terror was high, you may suffer nightmares later. So I now have nightmares. Yay, nightmares are amazing. I can collect messages from the harbour master. The blind bruiser would like a word, and I can visit the Clermont's tattoo parlour. So I would like to say that the souls were delivered. What a perpetuous, encouraging occasion it is to meet again. Here in this place which has been so much fortunate for both of us. Allow me to shake you warmly by the hand, since you have demonstrated your unswavering commitment to fair dealing and honest conveyance. Very good, my patron will toast you. Thank you, Mr. Blind Man. Be sure not to get lost on the way home, and not to stab anyone with your sticking knife. I will take a good word to my patron, and I am a man of my word that we will see each other again. Unless a whale eats you, of course, in which case I hope you don't think poorly of me for wishing that we will not meet each other again. In that case, we have been paid 200 echoes, which is awesome. That will buy tons of fuel, like 20. Once more we find ourselves here upon the quayside, what I suppose would be the lip of opportunities. Let us both drink deeply from the swell. By which I mean a patron has a task for you and our payment across the ocean. Bring back a little package. Of course I will return to London with a little package. Here's the money, don't lose it. Now bring the package back here. It's a hearty recommendation that you avoid ungentle attentions from the excise on account. If you return whether or not the package is of no interest to my patron, whether you have lost it or it is taken from you, good luck, good luck. I have gained 1,000 echoes. That's a lot, but I've been asked to collect a package from Khan's Heart at the Salt Steps, which I believe is straight north. So my idea of going south probably wasn't the best idea. I can sell my Shintatalak for 70 echoes, which is quite nice. And I can see the Admiralty. I decided to submit my border reports. Mount Palmerston, the Brimstone Convention. They trouble me, Captain. Nah, don't worry about it. They're nice. They gave me 40 echoes, which is good for a port report. And Port Cecil. I send out my report there. I got 30. And I decide to ask them if they need anything. They want me to go to Whizzer, far north of London. Well, I'm pretty sure the Salt Steps are up there anyway. I decide to go to the tattoo parlor, and I take a look at all the things that I can get, and I decide to get the Unflinching Eye. This will increase my merit by 20 permanently and cure my terror by 25 points. And it costs 1 echo. The gold needle pricks. Lily Cathermount hums. At the end of the process, the tattoo's gaze is so impressive you almost expect it to blink. You are almost hesitant to look on your own arm in the eye. My mirrors have gone up, and I am now nervous. I take a quick look around London. I also found out that I can hire on more crew for 30 Echo, so I do just that. I've gained 3 crews, so my crew is back to 9. And I can get a new recruit. I can engage in an officer, maybe's daughter. She is an engineer, but it would replace my magician that I have, so I prefer to go against that. I also decide to join the Presbyterian Adventurous. Afternoon, Captain. Looking for a gunnery officer. I'd like to help you blow up some monsters if you'll have me. Yes, I decide to. Oh, hello, Captain. Is this one of yours? I had to knock her about a bit. She didn't like taking orders from foreigners. Still, we're good friends now. The Adventurous claps the black-eyed sailor in the back, and oddly enough, they do seem to be friends now. Ah, sailors. I will never understand all of you. But I decided to continue with that and move my gunnery officer up there, and that's all for Fallen London right now, I believe. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe and all that, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.